待って、缶バッジね。
似合うかな。
行くのね。誰にする？任せた。
そこまでだ。ショッカー。現れたな。出たな。現れたな。
What am I playing on? I'm playing on emulator. I bought the game. I dumped it. Yeah, this game kind of runs like shit on the actual hardware, so I'm an emulator right now. How you doing? I tried to transfer my save from the Japanese one, but it freaked out because I don't have the money for the DLC right now. That's what I mean by $20 for save transfer I'm trying to raise, because I might be able to just get my save back, but I'm not quite sure. I tried to and it freaked out. I didn't buy the season pass, so I don't have the like the $20 for it right now. When I paid for this version, I did it pretty accurately. I don't have any spare money on that account. But yeah, I'm on emulator. I'm on Ryujinx right now with the frame rate unlocked, but capped at 60. Yeah, this game had way more reading than I thought, so I kind of regret buying the Japanese one. So now I have to buy the DLC again. We'll see what happens. Yeah, the PC version is like unobtainable because of the region lock. So this is the best way to play it as a filthy gaijin. No other option. Hello. This game just came out like, what, like 2 hours ago? About 2 hours ago. Well, the English version just came out 2 hours ago. Yeah, I heard. I hope that they play it here. I gotta buy a ticket. I'll definitely watch it. That's if they play it here. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, hopefully they play it here. I kind of have my doubts that they will. Nobody's into tokusatsu here. it's a dead city for tokusatsu stuff. I have my doubts. I'll have to check. Maybe I'll check after this. Yes, I do. Alright, it's illegal to skip rider kicks against the law. Yeah, I'll go watch it if I can. I've been hearing mixed things about the movie, honestly. And I actually have watched the original series. A decent chunk of it anyway. It's like 100 episodes, and it's very episodic, like the first couple seasons of Power Rangers. Where it's like, maybe like 10 episodes, something actually significant happens. I've seen a decent chunk of it. Like, I've seen the beginning, and when Ichimonji comes in, and then when Hongo comes back, and I've seen the finale. I don't think you really need to watch the whole thing. It's like when, you know, Power Rangers is on. Power Rangers is on YouTube now, and people have, like, filler guides for it. It's like, yeah, you don't need to watch all 150 episodes. You can watch, like, 40 of them. not necessary to really watch all of it. I think the old school Kamen Rider still holds up just because the stunts are freaking insane. We'll have somebody like jump off a cliff with like no protection at all. Pretty nuts. The fight scenes aren't as good as the new shows, but the stunts are like way better because they didn't give a shit. Like, yeah, just make the actor just jump off a helicopter. Like no protection at all. Just do it. We'll buy you lunch. Just do it. I think that's what makes like old school tokusatsu hold up. Is just the complete disregard for safety. There's that part where there's that episode of Kamen Rider Amazon where they actually had the actor, not the stunt actor, they had him on a train track or something, and he like, the train was actually moving like while they were filming, and they had him hang on the side. Like, dude, they would never let anybody do that now. They would make the train CG and have a stunt actor do it, and you couldn't see their face. Like, no, we're just gonna make the main actor do it. If something happens to him, our show is boned. The main character. We don't care. Something happens to him, too bad. Could say the same for old school Power Rangers as well, because the actors actually did a lot of their own stunts. They didn't do anything as stupid as that, like, you know, jump off this helicopter or hang on the side of train track, of a roller coaster track, while it's still running. They didn't do anything that crazy, but they did still do their own stunts.
これでよし。戦うしかないのか。現れたな。
That's part of why, the reason why Tommy was so popular, is he was, like, already an accomplished martial artist, so he begged to do a lot of his own stunts. That's part of why he was so popular. Definitely that's why he was popular for me as a kid. Until they stopped letting him do it. Onore Shaka.
現れたな。
The new Kamen Rider, they like barely let them do any of their own stunts. And if they do, it's like in the post-series content. like O's. They let him do his own fight scenes in the Mega Max movie. But in the actual show, it's like we need to get him to transform as soon as possible so the suit actor can do it. And like in the old Kamen Rider that this movie is based on, it's like, no, just get the main guy to do it. Doesn't matter. Just go jump off this cliff with no protection. It'll be fine, we promise. They probably did get paid better back then, though, because that's the thing about modern Toku is Toei pays like dirt, so they pretty much want to get off that show. They want to get off the show and start working in like dramas and stuff where they actually get paid what they're worth. I think they got paid better back in the 70s. Yeah, that's why they were more willing to do stupid stuff like that. Like, doesn't make sense. thing I don't like about this game is the upgrades, the persistent upgrades that you get are not cumulative, so to upgrade, you have to, like, keep dying or just constantly beat the game. It's like the main thing I don't like about it. I'm getting way farther than I did the first time because I have a better idea of how the game works, but when I go back, whether this run finishes or not, it's only going to give me credit for one upgrade. I think they did that to pad it out, but it legit sucks. I could probably, like max out most of the conditions already, but I'm only going to be able to go up one tier. It's a little bit of a bummer that they designed it that way, but you can beat this. It would be pretty hard to do it with no upgrades, but I don't think there's anything really stopping you. I'm already halfway through the game with no upgrades at all. I think they balance it pretty well, but if they do patch this game, it should be like, hey, you got this far with no persistent upgrades, just pure skill. We're gonna let you just upgrade. It's pretty whack that it doesn't work that way. It's like, nope. Minimum, it would take, like, probably 4 or 5 runs to max out everything. It's just pretty stupid. It should be more skill-based. But I guess if you can get that far, then you don't really need it. It just gives you more of a buffer. There's no, like, forced grinding.
戦うしかないのか。現れたな。 戦うしかないのか。現れたな。現れたな。
Hello. Yes, I am. Yeah. What's up?
出たな。
Yeah, I'm from the DMC Person of Color server. Videos for that game did surprisingly well, especially ones for the 1.0 version. Probably because there's like not many people that had access to it. But yeah, that game did surprisingly well. So did the beta too. The beta was the beta videos did better than I thought. I don't really expect anything I do to perform well anymore, but it's nice when it does happen. It's like, hey, the algorithm's actually going to recommend your video to people instead of clickbait. I'm like, sure, I don't mind. That video I did of S. Nero got like 4,000 views for some reason. I don't know why. There's nothing special about that video. I guess people just wanted to see the game. I don't know. I don't really care about the views right now, to be honest. The views will get better when there's actually something worth a damn to play. Right now, there's not. It's been pretty dry for games right now, for stuff I like playing anyway. No one's gonna watch this game. No one cares about this game. The only Kamen Rider game I played that actually got a lot of views was Bat Ride War Genesis. I got a lot of views for that game. Everything else, every other I have all the Kamen Rider games. All the modern ones, anyway. Views for those have been hot dog water. But I don't really care. I play what I like. If the algorithm or people don't like it, then it's whatever. I'm not really too concerned about it. So this is like going to the 4th level with no upgrades at all. They balanced this pretty well. The thing I don't like about a lot of action roguelikes like this is they force you to grind. You don't have to grind. The grind is just there to keep it interesting and keep you playing so that you'll buy the DLC. And you don't have to grind. I think they did a pretty good job, actually. I mean, I'm like 60% through the game right now, with no persistent upgrades whatsoever. They did a good job with this, I would say. Normally, it's what I don't like about a lot of roguelikes now. They force you to grind. Like, oh, your guy can't, like, jump or dodge or block until you start grinding. So, you basically can't beat it with skill. You have to get that. You have to die a couple times to grind for it. The forced grinding is a big turnoff for me. I don't mind the grind. I just mind when the game says it's skill-based and it's not, because you don't have, like, basic stuff. I think they balance this quite well, all things considered. You don't have to grind. Hades was like that too. That's what's good about Hades. Hades you can beat without any of the upgrades. Obviously, only like probably like 2% of the people that played that game can do it, but it's possible. They actually designed it in a way where the grinding is just kind of to keep you invested in the story and the gameplay. But it's by no means required. What was that game I played, Lootmancer? He like couldn't even parry without grinding. It's so dumb. It's like, alright, so you can't do this the first time, pretty much. You would have to get insane item luck. Might as well just, like, make your character just keel over so you have to go back. It's not skill-based at that point. I think it's fine to have some mechanics. It's just like that Lootmancer game is like, oh, your guy can't drop down to the ground. He can't parry. Like basic stuff he can't do. I think it's cool to have mechanics that you upgrade and learn, but a lot of games take it too far. The fact that I've gotten this far with like no upgrades at all is actually a better roguelike than a lot of more high-budget stuff I've played. It's not really clear that this game is an action roguelike. The marketing didn't make it. Marketing didn't make it like super clear that this is an action roguelike. Yeah, I remember that. It's like, okay, so you can't beat the game then, right? Unless you get like the most overpowered build possible. You can't beat the game like that. It's not gonna happen. That's what really bothers me. Like, alright, my character doesn't have any invincibility frames until I grind. Alright, so either I have like some kind of encyclopedic knowledge the first time I boot up the game, and I managed to get like some broken build where I just kill everything, which you can do in that game. It's not impossible to do that. You would have to get really lucky though. Or just grind. Rogue Legacy is pretty much, I guess you can get through some of it without grinding, but honestly, you're gonna have to at some point. I don't know, Skull just was like too hard for me. I couldn't get into Skull. I mean, I played it for like, about like 20-30 hours. It just felt hard because the balancing wasn't very good, and you had to have like a really good knowledge of how the game works. The dash had like a really long cooldown. Felt like a lot of the stuff was relatively useless too, which It's another big turnoff for me in roguelikes. Not everything can be broken. I'm not saying every run should be overpowered, but it just bothers me when there's stuff that's just straight trash, like the gargoyle. The gargoyle. The mummy was pretty bad at launch, I think. Like, yeah, I'm never gonna take this. Let me see if there's anything in the soda machine. Might help, because the next boss is pretty difficult. It's actually 2 bosses. Oops.
So こまでだ。
そこまでだ。ショッカー。
出たな。
Hey Zex, I was looking up Bat Ride War Genesis combo videos. I saw you put up one with Gaim like 7 years ago. Small world. I tried to get that game to run at 60 FPS, but I couldn't get it working. Seems like you need a specific version of RPCS3. I would like to play that game again, but not at like 20 FPS. That game's frame rate is tragic. All the people that have it running at 60 like don't really speak fluent English, so it's kind of hard to ask them how they did it, but I guess it's like some specific build. I might look into that, since I've been on a Kamen Rider video game kick the past couple weeks. I beat Memory of Heroes again. This game came out. Alright, this is probably where the run's gonna die, because this is like the second hardest boss fight. And you have to fight Ichimonji and then the chameleon monster. Getting this far on like no upgrades is pretty impressive. Right, a punch. Yeah, I always tell people that that game is... It's one of the better, like, non-Koei Musou games for sure. Just the amount of content it has. There aren't many, like, non-Musou, non-Koei or Basara games that have, like, that much content. I recommend it. It's just a lot of the appeal is still just because it's Kamen Rider, so... If you don't watch the show or have, like, a little knowledge about it, you're not going to enjoy it as much, but it still stands on its own, I would say. It's kind of like Pirate Warriors 3 in that regard. Like, I never watched a single episode of One Piece. I've never read a single page of it. But, you know, that game is good. It holds up. Yeah, it's a lot like Pirate Warriors 3. People like that game and they're not even One Piece fans. Because it's like it's a solid game. If you like Musou games, it kind of speaks for itself. That was not bad. That was 80% through the game with no upgrades. 80% through the game with not only one upgrade. Nah, I knew the run was gonna die there, because there's two boss fights. There's the chameleon guy, like, immediately after that, so... It wasn't gonna happen.
待って待ってチェックしてどうするの強化するのね
Yeah, the Genesis game, they actually brought back, a lot of the actors came back. A lot of the, older actors came back, like, who came back in that game? I'm trying to remember, it's been so long. Blade came back to do the voice acting, Agito did, Faiz and Kaiza did. The original Kamen Rider did as well. He came back. There were a couple others I don't remember. But yeah, they definitely didn't make that entirely as a kid's game. I always tell people that, like, people always say it's like a kid's game. It's like, well, they're not going to bring back the first Kamen Rider from 1971 if it's only made for kids. Like, they're specifically doing that because they want it to be, like, something that the parents of kids that watch the show now could enjoy. That was, like, the whole point of it. They brought back, like, everybody. That game is pretty much the Avengers Endgame of Kamen Rider video games, pretty much. Like, everybody that they could get back did come back. Yeah, Gaim is kind of hard to get through at the start, because it's, like, very, very mundane. It's very mundane, and then it turns into, like, depression porn later. There's lots of memes about how mundane Gaim is at the start. and then it just kind of turns into depression porn like halfway through. It's not for everybody.
サイクロンの強化ね。
Alright, so I got all that for getting that far on 1 credit. I got all that stuff for 1 credit worth getting all the way to the 4th level. There's only 5 levels. The run length in this is actually really nice, too. It's kind of like not really inherently clear that this is an action roguelike. It doesn't look like one, but it is. If you just watch, like, the trailers, it's not entirely obvious. Because it just looks like a beat 'em up, but it's a beat 'em up with action roguelike stuff. Which is a very hard combination to find. There's lots of action roguelikes, but not many that are like straight beat 'em ups like this. But this game is kind of like a Muso game too, because there's like the enemy count is very high. Alright, well, how much did I upgrade to him? Like 20% of his stuff. 20% of his stuff on the first run. I guess we'll do one more, and then I'm probably gonna go grab some lunch. Well, not grab lunch. I got some leftover pizza in the fridge. I'm gonna go ahead and make. Super armor attack's probably like the best thing to take. This one's maxed out anyway. Let's go ahead and take the Cyclone.
行くのね。誰にする？
行くぞサイクロン。
That big ass burger, man. That's like a Super Mac. Look at that burger. It's massive. Oh, I messed up my screen. Hold on. Oh no, never mind. It's okay. Big ass burger. Meal fit for a king. It's actually a pretty crappy start. That's okay, though. I got that far with no grinding, but I knew the run was going to end there. And if it didn't end there, it was going to run on the final boss, because she has 2 forms as well. There's basically, like, 4 bosses at the end that you have to fight, a 4th and 5th level. The 5th level is pretty short. It's kind of like the last level in Skull. And Shin. I don't think so, no. It's impressive how he eats while he's transformed. Takes skill to do that. Just eat like an entire large pizza while you're transformed and your mouth is covered. Only true heroes of justice can do that. Just scarf down that big ass burger while you're transformed. Only other beat-em-up roguelike I can think of is Streets 4 Survival Mode. There are a lot of there's lots of roguelikes now. There's like card-based ones, there's strategy ones. The beat-em-up roguelikes are pretty uncommon. I don't really trust modern roguelike devs to actually make a good beat-em-up roguelike like this, where you don't really need all the upgrades. You just saw me get through like 80% of the game with no upgrades. It's hard, but it definitely is doable. Probably would take quite a bit of luck with items though, but definitely not impossible. I get really turned off when they just force you to grind. It's weird that Hades is so popular, but then, like, there's other games that came out after Hades, clearly, like, inspired by it, and they get that, like, one thing wrong. No, you gotta grind to do this. No skill can do it. It's like when I got the review key for Wizard of Legend, and I beat that game. It took me a long time to beat it at first, because I had the review key, so there was, like, no information about the game on the internet at all, because of the embargo. But then it came out on Switch, and I bought it again, and I beat it on my first try with no upgrades. That's the sign of a good roguelike, in my opinion. That's the sign of a good roguelike. If the upgrades are interesting, and the items are interesting, but they're not at all needed, if you can do it without the grind. Like, you actually just beat the game, like, the first time that you boot it up. Obviously, without, like, prior experience, it's almost impossible to do that, but you can. Alright, this is gonna be the last run. I'm pretty hungry. So whatever happens with this run is it for now, and I might come back after I eat. Go, warm up my pizza and hang out with Groupie for a little bit. She's wanting to hang out. She's been spending more time outside, so I don't know if she wants to chill. If she doesn't, then I'll probably come back sooner. She's liking the weather. She's been outside more. Good kitty. It's nice to have the possibility to do it. It's nice to have the possibility to do it. Because the alternative in these kinds of games is forcing you to grind. Like, oh, your guy can't double jump, or he can't parry, or he has like 2 moves unless you grind. That's generally the alternative, so I think it's pretty cool that they actually balanced it around. If you are really good playing blind, you can get far. You're not entirely forced to grind. But a lot of people lie about it, of course, just like everybody says that, like, oh, I beat every Souls game and this game is too hard. It's like, alright, well, those aren't the hardest games ever made, right? They're hard games, but they're not like the hardest games ever made. It's not like the ultimate credential, like beating those games. There's way harder stuff than that out there. I think the worst is when they, like, make it so it seems like you can do it with skill, but you actually can't. That's what really bugs me. Like that Lootmancer game I played. You can't do that with skill. Especially with how that game works with the multiple endings. It's not possible to get them without grinding. So it's basically just a grind game. It's not really skill-based. I think it's important to have that stuff, just because roguelikes, action roguelikes are pretty much just beat-em-ups, right? They're like arcade games. Even the ones that don't have action gameplay, like the card games and stuff, they're basically arcade games, right? They're over in an hour or less. Like, you kind of have to have that stuff so that normal people will want to keep playing. It's just what they normally do is they balance the entire game around it. That's the problem. So a lot of people won't buy a roguelike if it doesn't have persistent elements. But they often take the easy way out. They're like, oh, we're just gonna make it so you have to grind. Instead of it being, like, more interesting ways to play the game or, like, make it a little bit easier. But, you know, not at all required. The game still is, like, the most important element. But yeah, I can see them adding something like that for sure. They definitely will. They kind of have to. Normal people don't really want to play these games and try to... They don't have an arcade beat-em-up mentality of, like, trying to get as far as you can on one credit. They do not have that kind of mentality, which is fine. Arcades are pretty much dead, so it's going to be increasingly less people that have that kind of mentality. So most hard games now, like the FromSoft games and stuff, you know, you can just keep continuing forever. You know, it's designed around, you know, trying over and over until you get like one run against the boss where you beat them. Yeah, they kind of have to add that, though. They have to. Otherwise, they'll get bad reviews. That game's already getting bad reviews because it really doesn't have that much content. They released it too early. I'm glad it's doing well, but I saw the paltry amount of content it had. I'm like, I'm gonna wait on this. Feels like Rogue Legacy 2 all over again, where it's like you could tell that it was a good game. It had a good foundation, which is why it ended up being a good game in time, but they released Rogue Legacy 2 with like 2 hours of content. That game got a lot of bad reviews when it came out as well, because they really rushed it into early access. They should have taken like another 6 months, maybe. That game turned out good in the end, but they even admit themselves that they put that game out too soon. I think they do it to like get a quick cash infusion, but it always has a risk of pissing people off because risking people off because it's like $20 for barely any content, and you can go buy like Hades or Skull or you know, a bunch of the other like top tier roguelikes for like the same price or cheaper. So it's a hard sell for most, unless people just have like tons of money to blow on games. Which most of us don't these days. River City Girls 2, they're still promising an update for it. It's been like 5 months since that game came out. They still don't have the update out. They said it's coming soon. I really liked that game. I thought it was better than the original in a lot of ways, but they released that game in just an embarrassing state. Just a complete mess. And it's $40 as well. $40 for a game that barely works is a hard sell. That game is on PS5 and runs at 30 FPS. Like, how shitty must that feel? I'm sure there's some people that bought that blindly just because it's something new to play, and it's a pixel art game and it runs like complete trash. And it's been like 5 months. Most people have already finished the game and moved on at this point. Just waiting 5 months for a game to be playable is a big ask, especially for a $40 game. I think that game is worth $40 when they fix it. It's not worth $40 now. Asking price is too high for the polish that it has. The first one works fine, it's like consistently like $15, $20. But the second one is missing stuff that's in the first game, like being able to do New Game Plus more than once. 60 FPS on all platforms. It's a hard sell. You can't just expect people to sit around and wait 5 months. Nah, I really think it is probably Zex. I probably think they, maybe their publisher wanted them to... Their publisher probably wanted some money back from their investment. That's probably what happened. Because, like, their first game didn't do that well. Their first game honestly sucked. Curse of the Dead Gods. It just felt like you were always just, like, screwed over in that game. It wasn't fun. It was cool how it was skill-based and they, like, really stuck to their guns and they didn't add, like, a lot of persistent upgrades. I just found it miserable to play. It wasn't very fun. It felt like it was always this uphill battle. It just wasn't enjoyable. I don't think it sold that well, so I think publishers like, we'll foot the bill for this game, but you need to put it out now, even though it's like got like 10% of its content. That's likely what happened. Publishers do that stuff in early access, I think. Yeah, I would hope they do a sale for 2, because it's been broken for months now. I would hope for their sake that they're going to do a sale. They kind of have to. They're probably just expecting a lot more sales from the update. It's like, well, you already kind of screwed everyone over who bought it, because it doesn't work. The only platform it's good to play on is PC. All the other platforms suck. Yeah, Rogue Legacy 2 was the same way, Zex. They had like 2 hours of content, and they wanted like, I don't remember how much it was at launch, but it's like $20. It's like a significant amount of money for like barely any content. Especially roguelikes are like super competitive now, because there's like a lot of really good ones for any kind of roguelike you like. You know, there's Slay the Spire if you don't like action gameplay. There's Hades if you like action RPG style gameplay. There's Wizard of Legend if you like, you know, more combo-based, like fast-paced gameplay. There's 20XX and 30XX if you like platforming. It's already really competitive genre. But when you price your stuff, when it has like barely any content and it's more expensive than those games, a lot of people aren't going to be on board. Same thing with beat-em-ups now as well. This game is actually pretty close in price to Streets of Rage 4, like when it's not on sale. I think they did their homework. PC has the frame rate fix, yes. It's been in beta. But it's still missing the other stuff, like the polish issues and the fact that you can only do New Game Plus once, which is completely asinine considering the game has 6 characters and like 50 accessories and unlockables and stuff that you might miss. It's stupid that you can only do it once. The game like kind of doesn't work really. There's not really enough game to play like all the characters to a decent amount. In like one playthrough, there's 6 characters. There's a mod to fix it on on PC. But you shouldn't need a mod for something that was basic functionality in the first game. It doesn't work for online, yeah, I heard that. It's legal to skip rider kicks, by the way. Let's see how far this run goes. It's getting close to 1 PM. I should probably eat soon, but we're gonna play this run out. Go ahead and grab the heal. I'd say the 4th and 5th bosses are probably the part where most people will probably have to grind, unless you get there with like really good stuff. It's basically like there's more bosses in the last 2 levels than the rest of the game combined, because you fight Ichimonji, and then you fight the chameleon guy, and then the final boss has 2 forms. So there's like 4 bosses in the last part. So that's going to be the progression blocker, the difficulty spike. Yeah, they keep saying that they're almost done with that patch. I'm like, why did you release the game in that state? Why did you release it in that state? You can't even buy, like, a pixel art game that, like, should run fine. It still doesn't work. It's one thing when it's, like, Cyberpunk or The Last of Us having, like, complete garbo ports, but you can't even buy, like, a pixel art game anymore. You can't even buy something like that blindly. State of the game industry right there. It's a pixel art game that could run on like a phone doesn't run it above 30 FPS on a PS5. That whole situation is just a mess. Like, the Japanese one came out first. The Japanese one came out first and was like a legit beta version of the game that they were selling. And then they also had a physical release of that as well. So, the physical release is pointless. Because you bought a literal beta. It was not intended to be released. I don't know why they put that out. I always meme about how physical releases are kind of pointless now, because games release so broken and buggy and half-done. But like, no, they actually did. They actually are selling a beta that you can buy. The Japanese one. Which is just insane to think about. You're paying a premium for a physical copy, and it's completely pointless because it's like the build that's on those cartridges or the disc is like months old. It's not really intended for the public. Not liking this objective here because I kind of can't get my rank up. Alright, there we go. Trying to get the rank up. Probably get another like 10% of the upgrades. Alright, should give me a chest. What do we got here? Take this. Maybe I can finish the game this run. This run is pretty much toast. I handled that pretty badly. That's okay, I kind of want to go eat anyway. We probably got all the next tier of upgrades anyway, so it doesn't matter. We'll probably get a good, like, dozen upgrades or so when I get back to the base. We'll give this a shot. It's not gonna finish though. I have too little health. This is like one of the harder fights too. I'm gonna go ahead and take the coat off. Just because I have like very little health. Played better the first time. Less upgrades. Isn't that funny? Oops. You come back with like barely any health, so the revives don't help much until you have like 4 of them. Like, maybe if you play well, you might be able to get through the boss, but the chances are slim unless you're playing out of your mind, which is a good thing. Yeah, I think I'm getting hungry. We're gonna go ahead and grab our upgrades, and I'm gonna go ahead and make my lunch. Take a break. A little bit tired too. It's probably not helping things. Yeah, that first run was really good. Oh well. Doesn't help that it helps that I've already beaten this game multiple times before on the JP version, so no frustration. It's actually kind of fun to go through this with all the stuff going. Alright. Let's see what we can grab here. Right. I can get an attack upgrade. Let's see here. Grab a revive. Definitely good to have. Super armor attack is really important because it reduces how many cycles you need to fight. You need to fight bosses. What else we got here? I'll take that too. Alright, let's power up the bike. Let's power up the bike. So the bike is actually kind of a better investment in some ways. The drinks are kind of whatever because they only last for a couple fights. And make a beeline towards the food items. All 5 food items. Oh, there's one over here too, I didn't see. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. 60% of the bike maxed out. Might start doing some runs from level 4, because that's like the major difficulty spike. But only 5 food items is considerably less than you would be getting if you play from the start, so it's actually balanced quite well. The drinks are only worth taking if you're gonna like spam one level. Otherwise, the drinks are kind of a waste, because if you start from level 1 with the drinks, like, they'll be expired by the time that you get to the first boss. And that's, like, the easiest part of the game, obviously, so... I think it's better to prioritize the food items. But if you get all the way up to level 5, and you take the drinks, the boss will probably be quite a bit easier, I imagine. But I actually beat the game from scratch with nothing. What do we got here? Alright folks, that's gonna do it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and make some food. And then, we'll play more of this at some point later today. Maybe, when I get back home. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. I need to devour. I need to do some food consumption.